Hi, my name is Carolyn Cosey. I'm 22 and I'm the founder of #becozycampaign. Becozycampaign is an opportunity for people to tell their stories and their journey along discovering themselves. I'm giving them freedom and clarity to know that their story is not to judge, but to help others along the way on their journey. For me, the journey of discovery is timeless and is limitless. You learn something new about yourself every day. Not one person has life all together, but life's a journey, and we should all embrace the goods and the bads of it, because if we just focus on the bad, we'll never be able to experience the good. To be cozy, it just simply means to be comfortable and to be organic and authentic, never allowing someone to dictate who you are as a person and dictate how your life flows. Just embracing the life journey of your own that you create and never looking back. If I can describe myself in 3 words, it would be goofy, independent, and dedicated. I try not to take a lot of things too serious. Life is about beauty and love and laughter. I'm very independent. I try to do things on my own as much as I can. And I'm also dedicated to my craft, to my work, and to my community. Growing up, I've always struggled with my identity. I never really liked the person in the mirror for many, many years. It was very difficult to try and meet the standards of my family, sometimes my friends, when I wanted to just meet my own. And it was a struggle a lot. I battled depression and anxiety. I had my first thought of suicide at the age 14. I just didn't feel enough. I didn't feel like I was worthy enough to live. I didn't feel loved. I felt often rejected from the people that loved me. I just felt different, and I didn't feel like I was good enough to be in their life. And of course, I later learned that that wasn't true. I'll never forget the moment. I was in my room. It was late at night. I called my friend and I told her I can't do it anymore. I don't feel right living. I felt like a burden to my family. I just felt like mold within the fruit. And she quickly contacted another friend who contacted my coach, who called my family immediately to, tell them to come in my room. And my mother stormed in my room and she stopped me. And I sometimes think about where would I be if my mother never came in. And it was truly God's plan to keep me here and to walk in my purpose with purpose, on purpose. And I'm very thankful for that. Later down the line, as I got older, I still struggled with my identity. It was very difficult trying to match what I wanted to be versus what everybody thought they saw me as. And I just was never happy. And I was content with making them happy and not myself. And that drove me into an even darker place. And it wasn't until college where I finally had enough. That was my breaking point, my junior year in college, when I just looked in the mirror and I could not identify myself. I didn't know what I was looking at. It was like I was looking at a ghost. And I just felt very dark and invisible. I would be in a room full of people and no one see me. And it was very hard to just grasp and comprehend what was really going on with me. And again, the suicidal thoughts came back even more heavy. And I've never told anyone that before. I really was at a point where I completely just could not handle life anymore. And one of my teammates encouraged me to go to counseling. And that was the best decision I've ever made, was to talk to somebody about a lot of the things that I never resolved as a kid. And I'm very grateful for those people that did see me and saw the darkness that I was living in and wanted to pull me out. So to all of you that stepped in at that right time, I thank you, because I don't know if I would be here today if it wasn't for you. Basketball has always been a part of my life since the age of 6. It's always been an escape for me in those times of trouble and depression. But college, once I got to Division I and my dream of playing on that level, basketball became something I wanted to escape from and not escape to. And when I gave basketball up, it was very challenging to do, because that has been a part of my identity for all of my life, really. And when I lost that part of my identity, I didn't know what I was again. And I had to redefine who I was without basketball. And it was one of the most difficult decisions, but also the best decision I've ever made, because without basketball, I found that I was more than an athlete. I was a strong, independent girl who just wanted to be better for herself and better for her family and better for her community. One other thing that always challenged my identity when it came to people viewing who I was how I dressed. How I dressed was always a big part of what people thought of me. I couldn't be a tomboy without people thinking I was a certain way, or I couldn't be girly or whatever. It was always a stigma of how people wanted to view me. And I just wanted to be comfortable. I liked wearing basketball shorts and sweatpants all the time, but in some people's eyes, it just wasn't good enough. I just wanted to be comfortable. And to want to be comfortable versus wanting to be accepted was always a struggle. And I had to learn that it's either I accept myself or I accept the risk of losing myself trying to be accepted by others. And I just had enough. It's nothing wrong with dressing very tomboyish, quote unquote, and still being feminine in your own way, in your own right. It's just how you wanna be on that day is just how you wanna be. You'll never catch me in heels unless it's for a picture, and then you'll see me in heels. But other than that, I just want to be comfortable. I want to love the person that I see in the mirror and not what you want to see. My family is everything to me. I'm very family oriented, and that comes from my father. My father loves when his family is together. There's no greater happiness to see all of his children and the rest of his family together. I grew up in the church from the time I was in my mother's womb to now. I've always been in church, and church has played a significant role in my life. And it has also challenged my identity in a way in which I still kind of struggle with now. When I was exposed to the world outside of church, I think I started to notice things that I liked and notice things that I was afraid of too. But the things I liked weren't often accepted in the church. So trying to find a balance of loving the things that I like outside of church and knowing that this could possibly be the most terrible scenario ever. That was very hard for me. A lot of things that I partaked in, my family did not accept, and they still won't accept it because they refuse to risk their beliefs and their morals, and I completely respect it. Everybody don't agree on the same things. Everybody don't see it the way you see it. We are all born in a different time, and I love them still, and they love me, and I would never want them to change for anything, and they would never want me to change for anything. I love God with all my heart, and without God, I would be nothing. And I appreciate my parents for being that light for me and introducing me to Christ, because it has kept me in times where I couldn't keep myself. Now that I am much older and I've found myself in a way that I thought I never could, some ways I heal myself from hurt or anger or just being in a very low state. I oftentimes just take time to myself to just breathe. I'm giving myself permission to relax from all of what the world has given me for the day. I write. I love writing. I love writing poetry. I love being active in my community. That gives me a sense of relief and a sense that I'm doing something right. I'll sometimes just sit in my room and light some candles and listen to music, just things to just get away from the world and just be to myself for a moment. Praying is another thing of meditation that I feel like is definitely necessary for me, is praying and connecting with God and making sure I'm on the right path and doing what He wants me to do at the moment and not what I want myself to do. So, like I said earlier, family and church and just being one with God has always been something that I valued, and it's something that has brought me a long, long way, and I could not thank God enough for the blessings He has given me and that He's already set in stone for me that I don't even know about. So grateful. If I can give my younger self advice, it would be to just keep striving and keep believing that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to be. I would tell my younger self that you are enough and you are important, and that your family loves you enough to tell you that you are beautiful, and they are going to tell you that even when you don't believe it, and to never give up and never allow anyone to control who you are, and not to allow anyone to dictate what you're going to become, and to always have faith and never, ever, ever, ever doubt yourself, because you are greater than what you believe. My name is Carolyn Cosey, and never forget to always be cozy. Thank you.